Welcome to Ideas to Implementation, the podcast for women who have a business idea but feel stuck in a job. Featuring real women with real stories of how they went from employee to boss. My guest today is entrepreneur and business owner Lena Thompson. So welcome to the show, Lena. How are you?
Hi, Simone. I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
Very well, thank you. Enjoying the bit of sun that we've got today, even though dressed in black, but it's good.
Yeah, there's a glimpse of it in my garden. I haven't set foot outside for 3 days.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite nice.
Exactly. Middle of lockdown, but still got to enjoy the sun. So no, I get it completely. So tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us about your business, first of all. What do you do?
Right. So I actually have two businesses on the go. My one business, due to the outbreak of the virus, is currently on pause. And that business is it's a companionship and transport services. Actually, there's a franchise we have in UK, which came from New Zealand about 5-6 years ago. And the purpose of it is to provide it one-to-one attention and companionship and transport. We've got wheelchair accessible vehicles where we take people out and about, whether it's children who need to get to school or elderly people who can't get to see the family because, they're homebound, or they need to get to the doctors. And we have our DBS check drivers, they accompany them and they drive them to and from their destinations.
Wow.
So that's my one business. And when I first started this business, I had no sales, no marketing experiences. So I've decided obviously to invest in my education. And because my passion has always been health and wellness, I kind of pursued that passion a little bit further. And I came across this amazing company called Nature's Frequencies, who are based in America. And they manufacture energy wearable products for optimal health and wellness. And these products don't just treat our aches and pains and anxieties and whatever other health conditions we might have, but they also protect us from electromagnetic frequencies and radiation. So this business I'm currently focusing most of my time on, just purely because the other one is on pause until the times have changed again.
Of course, no, that's understandable. So two great businesses. So how did you get into them? So what job were you doing before you started your businesses?
Okay, so I actually have a degree in computer science. I've graduated many moons ago, and I spent 20 years starting as a computer programmer and then doing more services, business process management, architecture and things like that. So I always knew that was not my passion or even my interest. I just did it because the pay was really good. And then, when the kids were born, I got into the survival mode.
Yes.
And and because, we had amazing lifestyle, we could go skiing and we could go to South Africa, as you may pick up from my accent, I'm from.
Yeah.
I couldn't really, give it all up just to follow my passion. But to be honest, I didn't actually know what my passion was anymore. I kind of was just confused and lost.
Yeah.
So that was my background.
Wow. So how did you rediscover your passion, or tell us a bit about that journey? Because it's interesting that you said that.
I love when I get asked that question because it's like my whole new life has started then. That was about 2018, 2018, exactly 2 years ago. I ended up in a contract far away from home, and I was spending about 4 to 5 hours in traffic almost every day. That was probably lowest of the lowest I've ever been. I didn't see purpose in what I was doing. I wasn't connecting with anything and anyone at that stage. And I just felt just pretty much, I would say, almost depressed. And then, the radio tunes were just kind of the same over and over. I couldn't read, so I wasn't mentally stimulated. And a friend of mine recommended I listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I remember listening to him for the first time on YouTube. And his message just touched my heart. It touched my soul. And just something inside of me just started stirring. Wow. And I thought, okay, well, I need to explore this a bit further. So I started listening to all the books he wrote and getting into meditation. And it's something I've tried in the past, but I could never really get my head around. Why would anybody want to meditate if there's so many things they can be doing, Yeah. But this time it was different. Maybe I was just ready. Maybe it was just my time. Yeah. And that was the beginning of the journey for me, really.
Wow. And that just, how did you then discover, because obviously you're running two businesses, how did that happen? Sort of, yeah. Which one came first?
So in November 2018, I've attended a week-long advance with Dr. Joy and 1,500 amazing people. And it was just 7 days of that connection, of the connecting and just going within yourself. And, instead of focusing the attention on things outside of me that would make me happy, the temporarily kind of release that I could get from being my life, all monotonous, kind of one thing after another, and looking for this fix outside of me, I really started going deep inside. And I think this is when I realized, I wanted to do something for someone, even though I knew that I was completely messed up, but the instinct kind of kicked in. And I said, right, I need to focus on myself. I need to give myself more attention, more love, and figure out what it is that I need to do and I want to do in my life, because I can't carry on like that. And I remember going home, and that was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do, because I knew I changed, but everything else around me remained exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I thought, I've come so far. I just need to carry on doing what I was doing in those 7 days, isolated from everybody else.
Mhm.
And I have. And slowly I just felt this strength, firstly, the strength that, was returning to me. My voice, I got back my voice, not all of it, but I could start speaking up about things I believed in. I could express myself more clearly, whereas before I would just mumble through things a lot. I used to mumble. I still mumble, but it's getting better. And and what I also realized is that, I think growing up in Russia, before we moved to South Africa, we kind of all were confined in one little space. Not little, but I mean, we had a small flat, and my grandparents went very well. My grandmother never left the house. She had arthritis, so she couldn't walk. And I don't really know how she managed to live like that. And we also have a friend here in England. She sometimes struggled to get out and about. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be wonderful to maybe start a charity and help people like that? But when I started looking at the option of starting charity, I was like, I love challenges, but this was completely beyond what I could do right now. With two kids and a full-time job, I was contractor all over the place. And somehow, you start talking to people, and opportunities come up where you never seen them really, you don't even know where they come up from. I think if something is meant to happen, you just attract it into your life.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was thinking about a charity to start, in my mind, in my head, I gave it a name, Driving Miss Daisy. So a few weeks ago, AGK reached out to me, and they said to me, look, maybe charity is not the right thing for you to do right now, but how about a business? There is a business locally that provides more or less what you're looking for, but you can also make money, and you help people at the same time, and they're called Driving Miss Daisy. And I was like, all right. That was pretty amazing. So that's how Miss Daisy happened.
Oh, wow. I love it, because obviously, I work with clients, I'm a coach, and it's a lot of business development, but also personal development, because I believe that it all starts with that inner work. It starts with us, whatever you're doing. And so I love the fact that you said that journey really started with you looking inside of yourself and discovering your true passion, what you really want to do, your purpose, because you said you had a great lifestyle, and you could have carried on like that, but realize, hold on, this isn't my passion, I'm not living my true purpose. And I think that's amazing. And so were there any challenges, aside from maybe monetary, I don't know, but what were some of the challenges you faced when stepping out on your own?
Yeah, initially I was running that business. I hired someone, like a very nice lady. Without her, I don't think I would be where I am with this business. She was incredible, so I was very fortunate. But before she came into my life, into the business, I've struggled with the hire, even just find relevant people, because it needed to be somebody open-minded, somebody compassionate, somebody who would be also prepared to work some random hours. And I didn't know when or not we're going to have clients, because it's a still brand new startup.
Yeah.
And I actually managed to hire people, and the week before we went live, lose them both in the same day. And I just remember, right, I'm going to switch my phones off. I'm going to go meditate for an hour, and I'm going to figure it out. And, you figure things out. And it's the reason it happened because Melanie, who's one of my drivers, she came along, and that's exactly what happens. So another thing obviously was, trying to raise money. I found an investor who was very interested, and he was then going hot and cold, and he also pulled out the last minute. So then I went to the bank, who required to write all this functional cash flows, projections, and it's nothing I've ever done before. So I was completely outside my comfort zone, and I like doing things. I've got this like big picture of what I want, but when I've got to get into nitty gritty things of like filling in a form, for me, it's like, it's mind boggling, really. I hate doing that. So that was a big challenge, and mindsets, the days when your phone doesn't ring, when the days we don't get inquiries, you're like, oh my gosh, have I made the right decision? Am I going completely bonkers? Because I have no business experience. I've never run a business. I've never sold anything in my life. I don't know anything about marketing. Yeah. And you just like start doubting yourself,
Yeah. And how do you get over that? Because that's a massive thing, isn't it? Mindset, doubting when the phone's not ringing, when maybe times like this, COVID-19, that's putting a lot of struggle on people's businesses as well. But how do you deal with that, the mindset, the self-doubt?
Well, meditation always. It's I can't stress enough how much it's completely transformed my life, and also just for me, just listening to people like Dr. Jody Spencer and Bob Proctor, and reading books by Napoleon Hill and Neville Goddard. I'm actually re-listening his book for the third time, and as always, because I listen to it, so of course you switch off and you miss some bits and pieces. But it's that, seeing yourself how you want to be in your life. So not focusing on your problems that you're having right now, because you're just reliving your past experiences, but rather seeing the vision of the future you want to be and act the way like you want to be. See, that's why I bought this new top today. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna, once this opens up, I'm gonna be flying, I'm gonna be traveling, I'm gonna be going there, and I need something bright to wear. So I went and I bought myself a new wardrobe, because I'm already in that vision of the future.
Brilliant. And what a beautiful color on you. It looks amazing. Excellent. No, so yeah, really feeding your mind, your again, it comes back to the personal development, isn't it? Because that's what will keep you going on those hard days or challenging days.
Right. And also taking actions, I know I speak to a lot of business owners who rather try and figure things out on their own. And it's great, but I think patience has probably never been the strongest of my virtues, and so something I am working on. Right. But when it comes to learning things, like I had to really learn about social media marketing, because I didn't even know how to spell word marketing. And I remember I went to the summit, and there was this, this guy talking about social media marketing, and I was like, that's exactly what I need. So I hired him as a mentor. And then I went home that night, and there was not a massive community with all social media marketing, but very spiritual community, very tuned in, very self-aware. And I was like, I need these mentors too. And I got them. And then through them, I got sales mentor, and I got this coach. And so it's just literally just surrounding yourself with people you want to learn from. It might, people may view it as expense. I see it as an investment, because it accelerates your growth. And plus also, we are only 10% or something away from the people that we surround ourselves with. So you just have to choose who you want to be surrounded by.
Right. And I like, because my next question then was going to be, if there are women listening who say, well, like, okay, I don't have that, the money to spend, but I like what you said there, but it's not so much as expenditure, but an investment in yourself and accelerating your learning. I think that's really key. And that's powerful.
Right. And somebody once put it really well. The question is not how much it is, but the question is, how much is it worth?
Wow.
And that's what you've got to ask yourself, and that's what I always ask myself. How much is it worth to me?
Yeah.
And of course you make mistakes, and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? But you learn, when people ask you for something, you can actually point them in the right direction. And when they get benefits, it just feels great,
Definitely.
So, yeah.
No, I agree.
You've got to
Yeah, I'm a big believer in investing. So I invest in myself, my personal development. I have coaches, mentors. So that's a big thing for me. So you've obviously done really well. What's been your biggest achievement? I mean, you've done well. 2018, you sort of started this journey. You've got 2 businesses. What's been your greatest achievement so far?
Well, I mean, considering I could not even spell word marketing a year ago. So I only started my business September last year, Driving Miss Daisy.
Right.
And in February this year, I won a social media marketer of the year. among 60 other branches or 55 other branches. So I was quite proud of myself there.
Well done.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got a social media marketer of the year awards standing right in front of me, and I look at it when I'm like, when I doubt myself, I'm like, I could do this in 6 months. What can I do in 6 years, right?
Awesome.
So, so that was pretty great. And obviously, you know, just finding nature's frequencies and learning about how energy and vibration, how they affect our health, and learning about these new technologies that are emerging in the field, like quantum resonance technology, and that's what our products are based on, and helping, you know, because the thing is, when I work with, you know, a lot of people who have some physical discomfort, and with these products, it's incredible to see just how even after a few minutes, the pain goes away. You know, we actually have a testimonial from my driver's mom. She's 93, and she's got severe pain in her knee. She's in a wheelchair, and we put this holograms, this products, this energy wearable products on her knees. And half an hour later, she rang her daughter to say, I want to get up and go dancing, you know, and just putting these products into hands of thousands, millions of people, it's really became my purpose.
Of course. No, it's amazing. There's nothing like living in your purpose. It's amazing. So how do you balance life and business though? Because I know as a business owner, it can, if you're not careful, it can become all consuming. How do you balance that? Especially you having two businesses. I have multiple businesses. So yeah, it's a big thing. How do you do it?
I don't balance, to be honest. But because I'm so much in love with it, I don't care. Honestly, I mean, the only thing is, you know, I mean, I do obviously try to do a lot of things with the kids. Not a lot, but I mean, I do whatever I can do, you know. So now they're being homeschooled. So it's a little bit more challenging. My daughter is 6, and she does obviously wants a lot more of my attention. So I try to make it up. Like even if we spend like 2-3 hours a day quality time together, we go for a walk or for a cycle, or we I do a puzzle, and then I go back to work. You know, I feel like I need this time to grow and invest in myself. And so also it's something I talk to my kids about, and I also bring them in. So my son, he's 13, and he's very, very creative. It's a skill that I lack. And he's my creative director. So if I need something like my video edited for YouTube, or a post done in Canva, or a banner for a Facebook group, that's his domain. And then him and I brainstorm, you know, it's amazing. So we've got this real business connection. Yeah. And as I said, with my daughter, it's different, but she's very sensitive to energy. And when her and I meditate, I could just see her like really kind of getting into it. So, you know, we also do some meditations together. So I just try and juggle it. Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is right now.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think it's amazing they're bringing your children into the business, so that's time as well. I think that's amazing. And then setting them up for the future, like your son, for instance, who knows where that will lead. That's amazing.
Exactly. And I mean, it's a skill, you know, that he's probably, I mean, he's going to need it for life, because the way we're going, we're becoming such a digital society. So I think a lot of subjects at school are outdated completely, and it's a very old model that they're being taught. Not all of it, of course, you know, they need to go to school, they need to learn the basics, but this is something that can help him throughout his life. So yeah, I'm actually grateful that we've got this time when he's at home more, and then, you know, we can kind of brainstorm on ideas, and he loves it. He really enjoys doing that.
Brilliant. And I wanted to pull out there a little bit about the marketing. I mean, obviously you're an expert, award-winning marketer now after not knowing anything about it. I think, you know, because when we go into business, the key is, well, if you don't have clients, you're not, it's not a business, is it? Someone said it's a hobby. And so you need people to know about you. How did you go about getting your name out there? So going from a career, obviously, and then going to your own business, how did you really build up your client base? The marketing?
It's ongoing process. I mean, you know, I can't say that I've got more clients that I know what to do with. That's not true at all. When we was driving Miss Daisy, because it's a franchise, we've got head office, and they do a lot of marketing, so we get a lot of that. I do run Facebook ads for this business, but because it's only targeted to a specific area, it's kind of hit and miss sometimes. So for driving Miss Daisy, for the driving companionship business, it's a mixture of everything, you know, head office marketing, word of mouth a lot, and also our cars, they're bright blue with white daisies, so nobody can miss them. They're like everywhere. So So that's a bit kind of very different to what traditional companies do. But with my nature frequencies, with energy wearable products, for a long time I focused on Facebook only. I've got a Facebook group which specifically targets females that have weight issues or health issues, and age probably 30 to 55, because we've got some incredible energy products like called Burn, which is a little patch, and you put it around your tummy area, and it naturally detoxes you and minimizes your food cravings, and also gives you energy. And obviously, when you have more energy, your metabolism speeds up, so you burn more calories. So I wanted to create a group for females who struggle with weight, and a lot of the time it's also health related, thyroids or whatever else, other conditions they have. So that all through Facebook. But what I've discovered in the last month is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been absolutely incredible. Honestly, it's like the people I have met in the last month. I've spoken, I think, to all over the world. I got involved into publishing 2 books, and actually another guy I'm connecting with next week, he wants to talk about another opportunity. Awesome. It's just been mind-blowing, the amounts of connections and information I'm getting, and that's actually also helping me to grow my business, because the products I work with, they can complement any healing practice, any alternative medicine, functional therapists, naturopaths, you name it. And there are so many of them. So this is what I'm trying to do now, is to connect with people in this health industry, really. So it's a mixture of everything, a mixture of everything, yeah.
Until you find what works for you. But I think what I kind of pulled out there, though, is knowing your client and then going where they are and tailoring your marketing for them.
Absolutely. I mean, I know it's not probably Instagram, so I've got an Instagram, I'm not very active. YouTube, I just put things there for fun, mostly because my son likes doing videos of me cooking, so I put it there. Yeah. But it's not something I focus. So for me, it's like Facebook and LinkedIn. And Facebook paid ads, I found work really well. And LinkedIn is just organic. And I've got a wonderful LinkedIn coach, and she's helped me a lot.
Brilliant.
So coach for everything.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. A coach is important. Yeah. Well, I'm a coach, I will say that, but it really is important. Yeah. So,
it is important.
Yeah. So then, I mean, it's been brilliant. And lastly, I wanted to ask 3 pieces of advice. What 3 pieces of advice would you give to a lady listening to this, watching this, who really does want to step out in their idea, but maybe lacks confidence or some other reason why they haven't done it so far?
I think there is, everybody says one day I will do it now, and there's no such thing as one day. It's day one, really. So I think if it's something passionate about, you first need to ask yourself, really, how much am I willing to put into it? What is my passion? If it's less than 10 to 10, I would really suggest don't do it, or maybe rethink that, or maybe readjust it, because it's all comes down to mindset. It's it's not the late nights or the financial plans you've got to fill in. It's that faith and that belief in your abilities, and then the doubt creeps in, and how do you deal with it? So I definitely think, find that passion. And then another thing, somebody, I actually think it was Mind Valley, and I love Visham Lakhani, how he put it, turn your problems into projects. And that's what I keep telling my son, because sometimes he gets overwhelmed with schoolwork, and I'm like, Jesse, this is not a problem, it's a project. See it as a project. And another one is, we all face challenges, whether it's personal life, whether it's business or whatever it is. And it's just seeing it as something that we can grow from, no matter how bad it seems at that time, no matter what it is. It's something, it's something that defines us, and that's how we continuously improve. Because improving is not doing something that works and something easy. Improving is how to dealing with all the things that don't work, with the heartaches, with the headaches, and overcoming those challenges.
Amazing.
So, and that's something, you kind of evolve into.
Yeah. Appreciate that so much. Now, that's how do people get in contact with you if they need to? How can they connect with you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook, Nature's Frequencies UK. That's on Facebook. And my email is just Thompson Lena@gmail.com if anybody wants to email me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lena. It's been amazing talking to you. You're just such an inspirational journey, and just seeing how much you can achieve in a short space of time if you're willing to put the work in and to really go with your passion. So really appreciate you coming, stopping by and speaking today.
Thanks, Simone. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Thank you for listening to Ideas to Implementation. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time.